Welcome everybody to the Paranormal Channel. This is Ken. Today we were going to do Union Cemetery. So my story is in reference to Union Cemetery, but right now we are actually at Goody Bassett's grave. Goody Bassett was a woman that was considered to be a witch back in the 1650s. Her family had moved here, actually to New Haven County. There was a little village out there that they moved to, and she had no religion. She didn't study or worship any particular things. She was, I guess, she was an atheist, although they don't use that word in the description. She came to America and didn't like the fact that people kind of shunned her because of her beliefs. So people started getting sick with weird, mysterious things and dying, some of them. And they just automatically assumed it was her doing witchcraft. So the trials went on, and she was proclaimed to be a witch. They dragged her from New Haven, I believe, all the way to Stratford here. And I don't know if the tree's still here or not, but they took her and they hung her up on one of these trees, or a tree that's no longer here, and they hung her to death. There is one part, if I can find it, where you can see her fingernails were, she literally like ripped into the stone with her fingernails as she was being dragged. Now my story doesn't contain anything with this particular cemetery. My story is going to be about Union Cemetery, and Union Cemetery is in Easton. So that said, let me get started with that. We were, I think I was about 17 before I got into paranormal research. It's when my first paranormal experience really happened. My friend Lewis and I, we pulled up in the Union Cemetery. They have a little drive-through area. It's a place people park when they come to visit the Union Cemetery. It's a semi-curved dirt, little road type thing. And this is where people park. That's actually an important part of the story. So it was late night, about 12 in the morning. So I guess it would be morning. We were drinking, although neither of us had really started drinking. When we see lights coming up the road that goes through the cemetery. Now I thought that was odd, first of all, because, well, there was certain gates that were always closed, like bolted, like almost welded, I believe. So I didn't know how a car was coming through there, especially at this time of night. But I didn't put too much thought into it. We continued to talk and drink as this older truck comes out of the road and flies by us. I say that it was a 60s pickup truck. To be exact, I don't know, but it was definitely from the 60s. We watched the truck pull up into a grass field. It's near the cemetery fence. We looked at each other. You can see curiosity on Lewis's face. I'm sure my face was similar. We just watched as these two guys get out of the truck. These guys were dressed like country boys. Overalls, hats. You know, the type you imagine with like straw hanging out of their mouth. They could both go to the back of the truck. One of them opens it up and they pull a bag, kind of like a large canvas sack. They throw it over the fence. Whatever it was heavy because they took two people. Next, they hop over the fence, and it looks like they have shovels in their hands. And they're kind of just lingering around where they were, and they start to dig. We can see them digging, but we couldn't hear anything. So, you know, young and fearless, we got a bit closer. We stop and we watch, try to figure out what they were doing. I look at Lewis and I say, listen. You know, Lewis, like, you know, he's looking at me like, what? What am I listening for? I'm like, them. He listens closely and says, I don't hear them at all. I'm like, exactly. What the hell? Now, we were a good distance. I'd say half football field away. However, it's a completely quiet area. We should have been able to hear something. We talked. We decided just to go up to them. We walk slowly. We get near them, and we still hear nothing. We look at each other and just see, what we're thinking. This is crazy. As we get close to them, ask, "What are you guys doing?" I hear the quiver of my voice. I was a little nervous, but there's no reply. Mind you, we're still standing relatively close at this point. We still hear nothing. We look at each other again with a shrug of the shoulders. Lou says firmly, "What did you guys put in the dirt?" No reply, no sound, no acknowledgement. We just start to back up. We get about 100 feet away and watch as they hop back over the fence and drove into the cemetery and vanished. When I say vanished, I mean vanished. We watched. The cemetery is not that big. And right before they got to the other side where the fence was, they literally just were gone. I don't know how else to explain that. Both of us at that point look at each other and we had the same thought. We ran over to the place where they were digging. Looking at the ground, it's untouched. We got into our car and we left. We were quiet for a few minutes, and I finally say, "What happened?" He says, "I don't know." Like, were they? He cuts me off and says, "Yeah, I think so." We changed after that. It was only a matter of a few weeks, and he stopped leaving his house, and he stopped talking to me. I don't know why. Maybe he was just so scared, and talking to me reminded me of that night. For me, it was the beginning of my new journey to the paranormal. Now, this cemetery, it's funny, before I was even old enough to really know what paranormal and all that stuff really, really meant, what it really was. I used to go to a camp right over here. It's called the Sterling House. I don't think you can see it quite from here. But that's where I learned about Goody Bassett. And they showed us her scratch marks on the stone, so I'm going to try to look for that. Now, I do know this cemetery actually was founded in 1667. It is one of the oldest cemeteries in the United States. I don't know if it's the oldest, but it is definitely up there. And the funny thing is, it's a very well taken care of cemetery. A lot of cemeteries that aren't even as old as this are beat up and vandalized, and this one doesn't really seem to be vandalized. We have a few stones down, but I guess that's to be expected when something's 400 years old. Let's take a look over here, see if we can get through. Looks like this gate is cemented as well. So I am going to walk over here, and I'll tell you guys a little other story why I go and find the stone. Hopefully, I'm not even sure I can. Let's see, Union Cemetery. I started dating this girl, and when I started dating her, we kind of got into the whole paranormal thing with me. It was a lot of fun. I like to tease her and scare her a lot. But at one point, we went to Union, and it was me, her, and her sister, and a friend of ours, a mutual friend. And we went there, and we got to the gate. And her and her sister are like, all of a sudden, they're like, "No, I can't go in." So we decided, me and this kid Ryan decided, well, we're going to go in. So the girls stood, 10 feet outside the gate. Ryan and I walked in. We got in about, it couldn't have been more than 10, 15 feet, tops. And we stopped, we looked at each other. Because, we heard some kind of weird sound. We weren't really sure exactly what it was. But it was an animal. It was growling, and we're looking around, and we don't hear anything, or we don't see it. And then all of a sudden, we hear something else. We look at each other, and he starts to run out the door. Gate. The three of them start hauling, running back to the car. And I went back over there, and got there, and the girls go to me, okay, Ryan told us what he heard, but without talking to him, what did you hear? Or did you hear anything? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I first thing I heard was what sounded to be like a growling. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, and then I heard what sounded like chains or something along those lines. Like, rattling of chains. So, that is exactly what he had told them he heard. So, we bought our recording. We were recording at the time. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that. We bought that recording to Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, Ed was sick at the time, so it was more Lorraine just researching it. And she heard the growl, and she, I got back to her like a week later. This is the Sterling house, by the way. This is where I went to camp and learned about Goody Bassett. So back to the story. I went back to her, and she's like, okay, so that growling is demonic. She goes, some people believe it's the hounds of hell. They're dogs that protect the gates of hell. And if you hear them 3 times, supposedly you die. So I'm like, okay, well, that was one. We hadn't gone back there in a while. And one time my girlfriend and I were driving around, and she's like, you know what? She goes, I dare you to walking around inside Union Cemetery. It was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And she goes, I don't think you'll do it. And I'm like, oh, I'll do it. So I got out, and I did. I started walking around. Got in, and I'm listening to everything. Probably taking some pictures. I wasn't recording at this point. But I got about halfway around, and I start hearing that same growling sound. Really, really bugged me out. But same growling sound. And at that point, I start snapping pictures, and I'm walking around looking for that sound. I want to know what it is. Where's it coming from? Because really, I'm just thinking it's an animal. Well, I think I was more hoping it was an animal. And I got maybe 75 to 80 feet away from where I was originally hearing it, and it still sounded like it was in my ear. So, at that point, I decided it was time for me to leave. I go back out to the parking lot, and she was gone. She didn't leave me for good. She was riding around. She was afraid to stay there at night alone. I have a lot of stories about Union, a lot of stories about all different places, and I'm really hoping you people subscribe, and I really hope to hear some stories from you guys. We had one last week. We want to get some more going. Now, I am over where I saw the scratch marks, but it's really beat up now, and I'm pretty sure it's gone. I don't think that stone is here anymore. It got vandalized on the outside for sure. But, well, everybody, it's been fun, and I'm going to try to get a few more going, and hopefully we're going to be able to do something special for Halloween. But maybe we'll do a live investigation. That would be kind of fun, and we'll see what happens. Well, till then, we will talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, bye.